Hello and welcome to Should We Hate This, the podcast where we take mundane things from your day-to-day life and decide whether we should hate them or not. I'm Scott, and I'm joined by Dan.
Hello.
The format of this podcast is basically going to be, we will take things from pop culture and society and decide whether or not we should hate them. These might be things that everyone already loves, that maybe we should have another look at, or things that everyone hates that maybe don't deserve the hatred that they get. Each episode, we'll choose a couple of topics and take a deeper look at them in order to answer the question, should we hate this? Welcome to episode 1 of Should We Hate This? Today's topics, window washer guys and smartphones. So, Dan, have you ever been stopped at a red light, minding your own business in your car, when one of those window washing guys comes up and offers to wash your windscreen?
Yes, countless times. And I always lock the doors.
Why do you lock the doors, Dan?
I don't know why I lock the doors.
Yeah, I know what you mean. I always try and avoid eye contact and hope that they don't wash my car, because then I, can avoid having an interaction with another human.
And you see them coming down the line and you're watching that red light, hoping to hell that it switches to green before they get to your car.
Yep, just praying that they move straight onto the next person.
Or
that they stop and clean the window of the person in front of you so you don't have to deal with them. Yeah. And funnily enough, it was these window washing dudes, for the lack of a better term, that started this podcast, that gave me the idea for this podcast, because I had exactly that situation where I was sitting at a red light and I saw them come out of the bush, because they were actually hiding in the bush, and I thought, oh shit, I don't want these guys. I don't want to deal with this guy. I don't want to talk to him. I'm just going to look away and not make eye contact. And that's what got me thinking, like, everybody hates those guys. But why? Why do we hate these guys?
I don't know. I guess that's why we're here.
Yeah. So we're going to help you, the listener, decide whether we should hate window washing dudes. So I did a little bit of research about this. I ended up on some forums, the Big Pond forum of all places. Did you know the Big Pond forums are still going, Dan?
Wow.
Big Pond is still a thing, apparently. And one of the top complaints I saw was that they don't do a very good job and they make your windows dirtier.
That's probably warranted.
Yeah, I get that one. So a lot of people seem to equate it with begging.
I don't think that's fair. I think that at least they're offering a service, They're out there trying to make some sort of difference or some sort of money to...
Yeah, and the same sort of person that is going to complain about these people begging is exactly the same sort of person when you're walking through Northbridge on a Friday night and they're going to be cussing out all the homeless. Oh, why the fuck don't they go get a fucking job?
Yeah.
It's like, well, hang on a minute. You can't have it both ways.
No. And I think that people definitely cast their own views on these people, thinking that if I can get a job, then how come these people can't? But not everyone is under the same circumstance.
Yeah, check your privilege. Yeah, so lots of people were saying they're dole bludgers. Like, they're saying, oh, these people are on Centrelink and they're getting the dole, they're getting handouts, and I bet you they're not telling telling Centrelink about this extra income, like all these thousands of dollars they're making washing windows.
All the thousands of dollars that they're making from standing in the 40-degree sun on a highway with a water bottle full of detergent and water.
Yeah.
Another good question that I've always thought about when I have seen window washers is, where do they get the water from? Is there some sort of hose on the side of the road? Because you can only have a certain amount of water when you're standing on the off-ramp of a freeway.
Don't know. Maybe there's an entire industry that we don't know about. Maybe there are other guys whose job it is to run down to the local shopping mall and top up the water bottles.
Maybe. So you're thinking it's more of a production line than just
maybe
average guy standing. Yeah.
This could go all the way to the top.
Maybe they're actually CEO executives making a bit of... No, that's ridiculous. Cut that.
Yeah, I think we took that as far as we possibly could. I think there's a lot of white middle class fear going on here as well. These people aren't like me, so I'm scared of them. Which is a bit pathetic.
And I think a lot of people actually, they see these people, and it's not necessarily a homeless thing. I think what they are expecting is that these people are going to use their money to go and buy drugs or booze or something like that. And to be honest, do we really have the right to say what they do with their money?
Yeah, well, this goes back to what I was saying before. These are the same people that complain about people who are begging on the side of the road, and they say the exact same thing. Oh, they're going to go use the money for drugs.
Yeah.
Well, fuck it. If I was homeless, I'd want to be high all the time as well.
Yeah. You can't tell me that I can't go out drinking on the weekend with the money I earned that week.
Yeah, exactly.
And if by chance, like, a handful of these people are taking your money and buying drugs or booze, I would rather give them $2 to wash my car window than have them kick in my fly-wide door and steal my shit when I'm not at home.
I think we're falling into the same trap now of equating these people with criminals and drug dealers. This is not how we thought this podcast was going to go.
No, actually, yeah.
I think, I don't think we should hate these people.
I don't hate these people. I think we can come to a pretty quick conclusion with this one. I mean, we've looked at from their perspective. Maybe they're these people that, don't have the ability to go get a normal job, or have an interview.
One interesting thing, sorry, I'm going to interrupt you. One interesting thing I remember reading not long ago was that most middle class people are only, I think it was 3 major life disasters away from being homeless.
Really?
So something like a divorce coupled with losing your job and maybe a serious injury. That could be enough to send your average person into homelessness. So maybe we need to have a little bit more compassion for our fellow human beings. Another funny thing before we move away from this topic, especially when I was reading through the Big Pond forum, for anyone who might happen to be listening outside of Australia, Big Pond was like AOL. It was like the original internet access in Australia, and they have all these forums. You were given the Beards at Big Pond email address, and you could use that to log into a Big Pond forum and talk shit about shit. And there were a lot of posts saying, oh, these people, they pick out women and they intimidate them. They intimidate them into giving them money. Now, funnily enough, all of these, it only ever seemed to be men who were saying that these guys pick out women and intimidate them.
Yes.
I never saw any woman on the forums saying that they'd been intimidated by this, which I think feeds into that male fantasy of like, oh, I'm a big, strong man and I have to save all these poor little women from the scary people.
I mean, we've looked at, cons to a point from other people's perspectives, but if we do actually look at the pros of these people, they're out, they're keeping your windows clean.
Well, debatable. I think regardless of whether your windows are clean or not, just from a side of showing a little bit of compassion and not being a cunt, maybe you should throw them a bone.
Yeah. So, in conclusion,
window washing dudes, we don't hate them.
We don't hate them.
Awesome.
All right. We should be easier on them.
We should be easier on them. We should be easier on each other all the time.
Yeah. So next time you see your local window washer guy, wind down your window, flick him a couple of dollars, and
maybe
wish him
say
a lovely day.
Yeah. So our second topic today is smartphones. How do you feel about smartphones, Dan?
Smartphones. I have a pretty complex relationship with smartphones. Complicated relationship with smartphones. I feel like it's almost like this unnecessary extension of me.
Yeah.
And I hate it.
Yeah.
I hate having it on me. I hate it when it gets warm and just overheats in my back pocket, or if I'm trying to scroll through something and I'm on 5% and I'm in the middle of an article. I hate that I'm reliant on it to a point with everything that I do. It follows me room to room.
Yeah.
There's that fear of missing out. But
yep. No, I get that.
We need it.
Yeah.
But do we need it?
I don't know. I guess we'll find out. No, I know what you mean. I I can't leave the house without it. If I do leave the house without it, unless I've deliberately left it behind, I panic. I'm like, oh no, I don't have my phone. What's going to happen? And then you're imagining that you're going to get home and you have 600 messages, and of course there's nothing.
There's been a tragic accident that you completely missed out on.
I feel like I'm too dependent on my phone. It's wrecked my attention span, I reckon. I have been lucky enough to have the last 4 weeks off work, and I had to retrain my attention span because I wanted to read a book, and I would get through a couple of pages and put the book down to go and do something else.
That's quite upsetting, isn't it?
It is, because I still do love reading, and for me to have to read, a 32-year-old man, have to retrain myself how to read a book like a primary school kid was pretty upsetting.
And you can totally understand how kids these days have these short attention spans, because they've grown up with it. At least our generation, had something to compare it to.
Yeah, should we sound like a couple of crotchety old men right now?
Well,
no, but yeah, it's addictive. And the mindlessly scrolling, like the amount of times I've just sat on the couch and just scrolled through Facebook and scrolled through Instagram.
It almost feels like you're expecting it to give you something.
Yeah.
You know, like if I scroll just a little bit more.
Yeah. What if someone's posted something really cool and it's just a little bit further down?
Yeah.
I miss out.
Or what if there's a news bulletin and some breaking news that I might find out or completely miss out by, an hour or so because I've decided to go to the shops. But it's this device that we rely on, and
well, it's my calendar. It's got all my contacts in it. It was like the other day I bought some stuff from the pet shop for our dog, and they wanted to, we do a rewards program, a loyalty program. We can get you some points for these things or whatever. What phone number is it under? I thought, it's under my wife's phone number.
Yep.
I said, what's that?
I have no idea.
I don't know.
Absolutely.
And I had to get my phone out and I had to look up my wife's contact details in my phone so that I could read out her phone number, because my smartphone has wrecked my memory. When I was a kid, I had like my 10 best friends' phone numbers memorized.
Yeah, I still remember my wife's home phone number from when she used to live at home. These days, she yells at me because I should know her mobile number.
If I was in an emergency and I did not have my phone on me and I needed to give someone my wife's details so they could call her and say, your husband's here and he's missing half his leg, I would not be able to do it.
Actually, I've thought of a situation like this. If I ever got into that situation, I know my father's mobile number, so I'd get them to call my father to call my wife, because that's what a 32-year-old man does when he can't take care of himself.
All right, so we should break each of these things down a bit more, I guess. So we've said that they're addictive. We can't live without them. They're antisocial as well, and they're distracting. They're ruining our memories and our attention spans. So let's start with the addiction factor. Like, do you feel that you're addicted to your smartphone?
I do. I'm not an addict. I don't believe I've got an addictive personality. I don't drink a lot. I don't smoke. I don't do any recreational drugs. I'm pretty straight edge. But with a phone, there is definitely that feeling like, no, I'm gonna put it to one side. I'm not gonna look at it for an hour. Even an hour is just such a pitiful amount of time. Like, I'm going to put it to one side, or I'm going to leave it in the kitchen tonight. I'm not going to watch anything before I go to sleep.
I know exactly what you mean. I am such a pathetic smartphone addict that I've got to the point now where I cannot stand at a urinal without reaching into my pocket and grabbing my phone out, because taking a leak is so boring that I have to apparently scroll through Facebook. That's
a skill as well.
Don't lick my phone.
I won't. But I can one up you on that one. I went to the bathroom once and I saw a guy standing there, taking it / holding his phone with both hands, and that's just a different level of confidence.
Yeah, I would not be that confident in my aim. All right, that went in a weird direction. But addictive smartphones is totally a problem that I feel like I don't think we're the only ones who would say that they're addictive. One thing I worry about is, as you know, I have a baby on the way later this year, and I don't like the idea of my child seeing me sitting on the couch mindlessly staring at a screen.
No.
I feel like that's a bad example.
Absolutely. And I also think that there's that addiction thing where you're like, no, I'm not addicted. Like, I just have to message Scott.
Yeah.
I just got to message Scott something quickly. No. I'm just going to be on there for like 2 minutes. Just got to message him. Then I'll put it down.
Yeah.
And then you put it down and you think, oh, wait, I was going to look up that TV show.
Or that
find out who that actor was.
Yeah, exactly. I was just going to say that. So I can't watch a movie nowadays without having my phone nearby so that when I see that actor, that character actor who's been in 5 other movies that I've seen recently, but I don't know his name, I immediately have to get on IMDb on my phone and look him up, which takes me out of the movie. It distracts whoever I'm with.
Yeah.
It's not good.
But there's that attention span that is completely lost now. Like if for example you are watching a movie or you're on the bus or at any moment where you're not doing something, you don't just kind of pause and go, I'm not doing anything, I'm just going to chill in this moment. You have to have your phone.
Yeah.
Like if you're shopping's a good one. Like if I'm out shopping with my wife and she's looking at stuff, then I will just follow her around like an idiot with my head down looking into my phone.
I have been guilty of the exact same thing.
I don't think we're the only ones.
There's been a lot of ink spilled about this idea that we don't allow ourselves to be bored anymore. And apparently a lot of people say boredom breeds creativity or boredom breeds problem solving. So if you are never allowing yourself to be bored, if you're just always staring at your phone, always amusing yourself, then you're hampering your own creativity or your own problem solving skills or whatever it might be.
Absolutely. I think it's a testimony to all the pauses in this podcast at how often we don't use our brains. No, but it almost is. And before when you were trying to think of a particular fact or something like that, you'd have to go away and think about it or look it up in a library or ask a friend if they knew that guy from that thing. And then you'd finally get that piece of information and you'd be like, thank God, it's taken me years to find this out. But these days, you don't have to think about it. It's almost, your phone is almost cloud storage for your memory.
Yeah, it's an extension of your memory, which I think goes back to what we're saying about the phone number, not being able to remember your wife's phone number because you don't have to remember it, so you don't.
So there's definitely plenty of arguments on how a smartphone is an addictive device.
Yeah.
But antisocial is probably
antisocial,
the next most frustrating of things.
I think for me it's probably the most frustrating because the addiction thing that's your own problem. Like that's you affecting yourself, whatever.
Yes.
When you go out with someone or with a group of friends, and the first thing everyone does is get their phone out of their pocket and stick it on their table, just in case something more exciting than your company happens to occur, and they need to get on their phone straight away. Yes. That sucks.
It does, but there's nothing quite as rewarding as calling someone out for that bullshit.
Especially when you know you've done it in the past.
Yeah. No, I just got on it, I swear. I was just like texting someone back.
So aside from the constantly being on your phone or having to be on your phone when out in public, something else that's more related to social media that maybe we'll get into in another podcast is this idea that everything has to be live streamed or live snapped. Or I remember going out drinking with friends and we ended up at a karaoke bar, very drunk, very loud, singing like an idiot. You know for a fact that I can't sing.
That's so hard on yourself.
Unbeknownst to me, it was all being filmed and broadcast on someone's Snapchat to people that I don't know.
No.
That shitted me off.
Absolutely. I think there's things that need to be kind of kept in the moment. Not everything needs to be...
Drunken karaoke
in a room, in a dark room, at the back of a karaoke bar with the other 12 people that you're in there with.
There's a reason karaoke bars are dark.
Yeah, and then nobody should be able to know about it, and all should be forgotten by the morning, and apologies can be written. But no, like that kind of publishing and live streaming is everywhere. But I mean, are we starting to sound like a couple of old crotchety bastards because we don't quite get what the kids are doing these days?
Maybe.
But again, we do have this kind of benchmark of when we were younger, when
they weren't a thing. Do you remember when you this is going even further than smartphones, just cell phones in general, but when you had to arrange to meet someone at a time and place because there was no way to text them. So I'll meet you at the movie theatre at 2 o'clock.
Yeah, and if they didn't arrive, they were probably dead.
You just had to stand there and wait.
Yeah, and if they didn't arrive, you'd just go home.
Yeah.
Well, he's not coming. You couldn't make it.
And they could have missed the bus.
Yep.
And you could have given up on them, and then they got there 10 minutes after you went home, and that's your whole afternoon fucked.
It seems almost impossible for that to happen.
It is. I can't imagine that happening at all now. But that's besides the point. That's just phones in general. And I'm glad that mobile phones are a thing because there are so many conveniences of them. I don't even have a landline phone at my house anymore. I don't think you do either.
No, we have one, but it's only for the internet. It's all of it.
So the convenience of a mobile phone is fine, or a cell phone for our American listeners, because we have American.
Hi to all our American listeners out there.
Podcast,
stateside.
But yeah, going out with a group of friends. I didn't go out to dinner with 6 of my friends to sit around and watch them play on their phones.
No.
I don't want to. No, I want to enjoy your company, not the company of whoever's on your phone.
It's almost like you're there with your friends, you're having a chat to someone, but they're talking to somebody else.
Yeah.
But also kind of just jumping back to, not meeting friends at the shops or something like that because they missed the bus or you completely missed each other because you weren't able to get in touch with each other. One of the arguments for cell phones is that, it's great in an emergency. If there's an emergency, you can call me. So that's fine. But smartphones have only been around for 11 years. Well, 2006 was when the first iPhone came out. I didn't
realise that. Oh, of course, because we're up to the 10th anniversary iPhone.
10th anniversary.
Was the iPhone the first smartphone?
I don't
count
think
the BlackBerry as a smartphone?
Yeah, not really. I don't know, maybe.
They're pretty shit.
Yeah, but the ability, this was before, when the old Nokia 3310s were getting smaller and smaller and phones were getting jokingly small.
To the people listening to this podcast, Dan just tried to show you the size of a small phone with his hands.
It's about this big.
Great radio, Dan.
Phones were getting smaller until smartphones came around, and then they suddenly started to grow in size because people wanted these bigger screens. They wanted all their entertainment on there. They wanted everything. They wanted bigger speakers. They wanted better.
Higher definition.
High definition.
I think is what you're trying to say.
Photography.
Pornography.
And photography. Which definitely is a benefit. I mean, that's one of the bonuses of having a smartphone for me is having a better quality camera on my smartphone than I ever did in a little handheld camera 10 years ago.
This is true. So they're not all bad, definitely. I do agree with the point about the camera. Most people don't want to go out and spend thousands of dollars on a digital SLR. And with an iPhone, you don't have to. Or a Samsung if you have bad taste in phones.
If you feel like connecting your phone to everything else.
If you want to be set on fire halfway through a plane journey because your battery caught fire. Anyway, we're not here to rag on Samsung.
No.
So, they're addictive. They're antisocial. They're distracting. And they can ruin your attention span. But they're also kind of great.
Yeah. Are they necessary?
I don't know if I would say they're necessary.
But you do like them?
But I do like it.
So what do you like about it?
I like all the things that I hate about it.
Yeah.
Which is the 21st century conundrum.
Yes.
All of these amazing things that have been given to me are too amazing and I can't handle it. Woe is me.
And I think that's the thing. Like, as much as we rag on it and we say we're addicted to it, I think it's all in moderation. And I think that if we could actually just control ourselves, then we probably wouldn't hate these devices so much. But we don't have any control over ourselves.
Yeah, I have no self-control.
I have no self-control. Just need a little bit of self-control and maybe we can all just enjoy the smartphone.
Well, this almost turned into a self-help podcast there.
Yeah.
Maybe we should remarket this.
Maybe. It's great.
This is the Should We Help This? Should we help this? Should we help you? Okay, so smartphones. The verdict. Should we hate them?
No, I don't think we should. I think our frustrations are our own And I think we probably need to get on top of that before we blame it on an inanimate object.
Very deep, Daniel. Very deep. We shouldn't hate the smartphones. We should hate ourselves. That's bleak.
It's a bleak future.
Thanks for listening to episode 1 of Should We Hate This? In summary, window washer guys.
We love them.
Smartphones.
We don't hate smartphones.
We just hate ourselves. Alright, quick fire round. What do you hate, Dan?
People that reverse park.
Why?
Because they hold up traffic.
Alright, what do you love?
War on Drugs.
The band or the war?
Band.
Excellent.
They're amazing. Should listen to them.
I will.
What do you hate, Scott?
Birkenstocks.
How come?
Just cause.
Right. And what do you love?
The End of the Fucking World on Netflix. If you haven't seen it yet, it's fantastic. Go watch it. Thanks very much for listening to our show. Look out for the next episode wherever you get your podcasts. Please check out our social media. On Twitter, we are SWHT Podcast. On Instagram, we are Should We Hate This, all lowercase. And you can find us on Facebook by searching for Should We Hate This. See you next time.
Bye. What a fuck it. I was like, that's really good closing.